My name is Dominic Bratti. I'm the Deputy Mayor of Scotch Plains. I've been living in town about 18 years, over 18 years now, and I've been involved in a number of things in town, from planning board to the town council for the last 2 years, etc. I'm a partner in the law firm of Once Goldman & Spitzer. My practice focuses almost exclusively on labor and employment law, and I've been doing that for 23 years. It ties in very nicely with what I do on the Township Council, because I do represent municipalities and public entities in my job as a labor and employment attorney. So I'm familiar with a lot of the rules and regulations that apply, and a lot of the issues that we're going through as a township. I've been through with other municipalities and with companies, including reductions in force, budgeting concerns, layoffs, and that kind of stuff. The most important thing, I think, in this election is to make sure that we have elected officials that are going to put politics aside and do what's best for the township. That is essentially an issue, and it's an overriding issue with respect to the work that we're going to be doing as a township council. It's something we've done for the last 2 years since Nancy Malul became mayor, and we want to be able to continue that. And it is important because the issues that we're facing are very polarizing, divisive issues. There are going to be people on both sides of it, so we can't have politicians that are looking down the road for the next vote and basing their decisions based upon whether it's going to be popular or whether they're going to get votes. What they need to base their decisions on are what's best for the township at this time and what's going to carry us into the future. So that's number one. Number two is we have to continue to keep a handle on our budget. Over the last 2 years, again, we have gotten a handle on our budget. We had a difficult budget in 2009. We made some tough choices that helped us this year in 2010, so that in 2010 we had no layoffs. We froze municipal salaries. We had a very, very slight increase in expenses, 0.33%. Had it not been for state aid being lost, over $600,000 in state aid being lost, we would have had a very, very low tax increase, if any, this year. So we've gotten a handle on it. Now we need to keep a handle on it. And how we've done it in the past is look at every contract that comes across the desk for renewal and to make smart choices as to what's best for the town. How can we keep services, but keep the level of service high, but still be able to do it in a cost-effective, fiscally responsible manner. So that's number two, and that ties into everything that we do, because when you talk about the budget, it means how are we going to, it affects how we provide services, it affects our police officers, it affects what the people who work for the township are making, and all of those issues are issues that we deal with every day on the township council. Number three is we need a township council that's not afraid to do things that are a little bit beyond the scope of what our job description, where we not only try and do the things that we have control over, but we also try and influence the things that we don't necessarily have control over. For example, the water and sewer rates that are charged by the agencies that service the township. When American Water wanted to raise its rates, I went to the hearings with other leaders from other municipalities, such as Westfield, Clark, etc., and gave testimony as to why it would affect our township, and we shouldn't have these rates being raised to the level that the American Water Company wanted to raise them. There's no doubt that we need to share services with other towns. We already do a lot of shared services contracts, and some that you might not even know about. We share services with Clark and Westfield, in addition to sharing the school system with Scotch Plains Fanwood. We share a number of things with the county, with Westfield, with Clark, and that makes it cost effective. When you share services, you're able to have economies of scale that you wouldn't normally have if you're trying to do it on your own. and it makes it cost effective. What we're looking at now is increasing that level of shared service and addressing the issue of whether there should be more, not only shared services, but a merging of the towns with Scotch Plains and Fanwood. And as far as I'm concerned, that's something that's not off the table. Some people want to keep it off the table, but when you're talking about getting these economies of scale and being able to share services to the point where you're going to actually save money, and when you save money, you save taxpayers' tax increases, then if it makes sense, I think we need to explore it. We were successful in 2009 putting together a good budget that, at the time wasn't necessarily the most popular thing, but what it did was, instead of taking quick fixes and politically, fixes that would have been politically acceptable, it made hard choices that put us in a better place, so that we didn't have to. For example, we were asked to take a pension deferral. Well, that would have, increased our costs tremendously. It would have been a quick, easy fix, but it wouldn't have allowed us to get really a handle on our budget, so that we'd be set up for the next year. It would have just postponed the inevitable pain and made it worse because of the interest rates that the state was charging. Band is tremendous, and the reason why our band is tremendous, and I know this from having my kids go through this, is from early on in grade school, they're learning instruments, and learning more than one instrument. And the band is fantastic, and the jazz band is fantastic, and the moon glowers are fantastic. I mean, they win competition after competition. And all of that stuff is true because we have invested in our schools. But anytime there's a budget, and anytime there's a way to spend money, there's always a way to do it a little bit differently and a little bit smarter, and there's always a little, and there's always some room you can find to improve. So it's not that anybody wants to hurt anybody, it's just that we need to get through it together, and we need to take a good hard look at things.